Slope. Slope describes the steepness of a line. There are lots of different names for slope. Slope is given the letter M. It is the rise over the run. Now if you think about a graph, with the x and y axis, your rise is the y-axis and your run is x. So it's also y over x. Slope is the change in y over the change in x, which you can use the formula y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. And the last name for slope that we're going to talk about is rate of change. Slope has direction and a numerical value. To determine direction, you look at the top of the line. So here are 4 ways your line could look. When you look at the top of the line, think of the x-axis as your number line with the origin being 0. The top of this line is pointing to the right. Positive numbers are to the right, so this line has a positive slope. Here, the top of the line is pointing to the left. Negative numbers are to the left, so this line has a negative slope. Our third graph is a horizontal line. Now remember, slope describes the steepness. This has 0 steepness, so this has 0 slope. And our last graph is a vertical line. A vertical line has an undefined slope. Sometimes this is called no slope. So given a graph, if you need to find the slope of the line, don't just give direction, you must also find the numerical value. So what you need to do is locate corner points. Sometimes corner points are given to you, as in the graphs that are right here. Sometimes they are not. What I mean by a corner point is where the line touches the graph paper at a corner, such as right here. This is not a corner point, not a corner point. No corner points until we get back here. So it doesn't matter which corner points you use, you just want to use 2 of them. Slope, remember, is the letter M, and it's the rise over the run. So pick a lower point. Pick this one. And I want to count how high I need to rise and run to get to the next point. So remember, do not count where you're standing as 1. So take your first step. 1, 2, 3, over 1, 2. So 3 over 2. Now the thing about slope when the line is linear is that it's constant, meaning it's going to be the same over and over and over again. So it doesn't matter which 2 points we choose. If we start at this point and move to the next one, it's still going to be rise 1, 2, 3, run 1, 2. Rise 1, 2, 3, run 1, 2. If we pick 2 points that are not next to each other, let's say we pick the 2 endpoints, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 9 over 6 simplifies to 3 over 2. But double check, the top of the line is pointing to the right, so we can just leave this as 3 halves. Because again, if a number is positive, we don't have to put a sign. So for the second graph, find the rise over the run. Pick any 2 corner points. I'm going to rise 1, 2, run 1, 2. 2 over 2. But notice the top of the line is pointing to the left, so that means this is going to be a negative 2 over 2, which simplifies to a negative 1 over 1, or just negative 1. If you're given a graph, counting points is the best way to do it. If you are just given ordered pairs and you do not have any graph paper, going to be the method that you want to use. Instead, you want to remember that slope is the change in y over the change in x, or y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. The ones and twos just let you know which ordered pair the numbers are coming from. So you always want to take the time to label each ordered pair. Negative 2, 0 is the first ordered pair I see. So I'm going to label that as x1, y1. And 2, 6 is the second ordered pair I see. So I'm going to label that as x2, y2. Plug into the formula. 0 minus 6 over negative 2 minus 2. So when we work this out, we're going to get negative 6 over negative 4. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. And 6 over 4 simplifies to 3/2. These two ordered pairs came from the example that we did of the graph. And you can see our slope is the same as what we found when we counted the points. So here's our next question. Again, always label. This is your x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug into the formula, y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So y1 is 6 minus, y2 is negative 5. There's a negative that comes from the formula and a negative from the ordered pair. So you do end up with a double negative. And then over here you're going to have 4 minus 4. Double negative is going to turn positive. So we're going to end up with 11 over 0. Well, when the denominator is 0, you're going to have an undefined slope. Because remember what this means. 0 into 11. What can you multiply 0 by to get 11? And that's nothing. There's nothing you can multiply 0 by to get 11. All right, last one. x1, y1, x2, y2. Plug into the formula, y1 minus y2 over x1 minus x2. So 4 minus 4 over 6 minus negative 5. Again, that double negative because there's a negative in the formula and a negative with the ordered pair. So here we're going to end up with 0 over 11. When 0 is in the numerator, that means the slope is 0. 0 slope. Because this means what times 11 would give you 0, and that's 0.